We'll talk about all the different cache types next on Discover Geocaching. If you signed up for the free membership, you may have discovered that there's only a handful of cache types out there. Well, there are 20, and if you become a premium member, you'll have access to all of them. We're going to talk about all 20 of those cache types, so stick with me. Let's talk about the traditional cache type. I think it's the most popular because it's so easy, so simple. All you do is go to the posted coordinates, you find whatever is hidden there and sign the log, and you're done. The next cache type we'll talk about is the puzzle cache, or sometimes known as the mystery cache. This is where when you look at the app or you look online, those coordinates that you see are not the actual location of the cache. You have to figure out some type of puzzle or some type of encryption or something in order to find the actual location of the cache. The puzzles can be really easy or really hard. For the more difficult puzzles, luckily we have a lot of resources available to us. Of course, the internet. I suggest a book like this one by Cully Long. I'll have a link to this book down in the description down there. No, a little bit lower, right there. Now, I suggest getting the one with the spiral binder because it is so much easier to just do something like this than to worry with that page always flopping in your way. But that's just me. That brings us to the multi-cache. A multi-cache involves more than one location. So there could be 2 stages, 3 stages, 10 stages. It just depends on the cache owner. But when you get to the final stage, there'll be a physical container and a log to sign. An Earth cache is going to take you to a unique place where you'll learn something special about the Earth. Now, there's not going to be a physical container for you to find or a log to sign there. Typically what happens is you will answer some questions based on what you observed there at the location. Letterboxing is similar to geocaching, but instead of using coordinates to find the container, you use clues to find the container. A letterboxer will find the container and then use the stamp that's inside it to stamp his log, proving that he found it. Now, for geocachers, you just sign the log, leave the stamp in place. An event cache is just a gathering of local geocachers or a geocaching organization. The date, the time, and the location of the cache event is published on the cache listing, and cache events are a great place for you to expand your geocaching network. CEDO events, or cache in, trash out events, are just like regular events except geocachers are gathering for one specific purpose, and that is to clean up the area around where the event is being held. A CEDO event could also be for planting trees, shrubs, things like that. Think of it as improving our game board that we play on, along with the added benefit of improving our environment. Lab caches is how geocaching.com experiments, innovates, and tests some of the new things they're trying to bring out to geocaching. Lab caches are rare, but sometimes you'll find them at really big events, so be on the lookout for them. The next cache type we're going to discuss is the mega event. They're just like an event cache, only these are attended by 500 or more people. A lot of activities surround mega events, and often they are scheduled annually. Similar to mega events, giga events are attended by over 5,000 people, and they are scheduled usually over several days. The Where I Go cache type adds depth to our geocaching adventure. You can interact with physical and virtual objects and characters and still find a physical container at the end. Now, you will need a Where I Go enabled device such as a smartphone, and a lot of handheld GPS devices are also Where I Go enabled. The Geocaching HQ cache type is a one-of-a-kind cache that's located at the geocaching.com headquarters in Seattle, Washington. If you're interested in visiting the headquarters in order to log this cache, you will need to make a reservation at least 48 hours in advance. I'll include the email for your reservation down in the description. It's little to the left. Right there. There you go. The GPS Adventure Maze is an exhibit that's designed to teach people of all ages about geocaching and GPS technologies. And they do it through science experiences. All you do to claim this particular type of cache type is to attend the exhibit. The Geocaching HQ Celebration is a huge event that the headquarters puts on to celebrate the decades of geocaching. They started it on the 10-year mark, and they do it on the 20-year mark, then the 30-year mark, and they put on a lot of great activities in the Seattle area. The Geocaching HQ Block Party is still just another party that they throw in the Seattle area. Well, just like the headquarters throwing their celebration party, they have the community celebration, which is for geocachers like you and me, so that we can throw on parties or events celebrating geocaching. The virtual cache type is really fun. It's not about going and finding a container, it's more about finding a location, a really cool spot. And in order to log the virtual, since there's no container, there's no log to sign, it's the logging requirements could be different. You could find an answer to a question, maybe you have to get a date off of a plaque somewhere, or maybe you have to take a picture of you or you with your GPS in front of a great statue or a particular landmark. The webcam cache type is very rare and very popular. The idea is you get yourself in front of an existing webcam, say from a park or off of a building or something, and you go to the website and you save the screenshot of you in the camera, and then you submit that as your log. Back in 2001, the geocaching.com people got in cahoots with the 20th Century Fox studio in support of the Planet of the Apes movie. Now what they did was they hid 14 geocaches all over the world, and they put props from the movie in those geocaches. If you were the first to find those geocaches, you got to keep the props. Okay, so now, what is it, 2023 now, there are only 2 of those left, and one is in Brazil and the other one is in the Washington State area. All right, now that brings us to our last type of cache. Have you been keeping up? This is number 20. It's called the location-less cache type. This is like the opposite of a traditional. So instead of with a traditional where you have coordinates and you go and you find a hidden container and you log saying that you found that hidden container, with the location-less cache, you have an object, or you go to an object and you log its coordinates of where you found it. Now this is now called waymarking. So if you go to waymarking.com, you can find a bunch of these. And there's the list of all the different cache types. I hope you stuck with me through that, because it was a long list, right? 20 of them. So we've gone through each one. Now you know what each cache type is. Now a lot of people will go out there and say, let's go out there and find all the different cache types. I'll leave that up to you, because it's going to be fun no matter what you do. Well, thanks for sticking with me, and I appreciate you watching. And don't forget to go out there and discover geocaching.